Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world. Give me a thumbs up just for the intro.
What is up, guys? It's the homie Bigg Vic, and we are back in the building with another video. Today we are talking about the new entrant safety audit that you may be getting soon. So if you have a brand new authority, you probably won't get this right now, but when you get towards the end of the year, the end of your first year in the business, you're gonna have to do a safety audit. I just passed my safety audit. Need a hand clap for that. I need a hand clap for that. I just passed my safety audit. Ask me, was I nervous? Absolutely. I passed the safety audit. I found out a few interesting things. Now, you're gonna need to know this information because it's coming up. Whether you like it or not, if you have that brand new authority, you're gonna get a safety audit, and it's gonna come, and you're gonna have to get all of this information to them within a 20-day period. From the time you receive that email or the letter in the mail, you have 20 days to respond. Now, you do not want to miss that email, because if you do miss that email, you will be put out of service until you respond and get the documents back that they're going to be asking you for. You'll be put out of service. I did hear of someone who just recently, they missed the email. They were put out of service for 30 days. Then they got a new email. Then they had 20 more days that they had to respond, back. Now we're talking almost 2 months. And then you have to wait for them to respond back to the email once you submit the documents. So that could initially put you out of business for 90 days. 90 days for some folks, if you didn't stack your bread up throughout the year, that's gonna hurt you. That's gonna sting quite a bit. All right, so you definitely wanna listen to this information, and you wanna get these gems now, whether you gotta write them down or just keep them in the back of your think tank, or refer back to this video when you get yours in. But the information is gonna be on there, but I'm just gonna tell you a little bit of how mine's went and what you need to have. All right, let's get into the documents that you're gonna need, what you need to do so that you pass this safety audit. So the first documents that you're gonna need to submit to the FMCSA new entrant safety audit, folks, is your driver list. All right, so if you have drivers, you're gonna need a list of your drivers that are working for you. That's the first thing they're gonna ask for. You're gonna need the first and last names, date of births, date of hire, license numbers, and license states. All right, so that's the first thing that you're gonna need. Second thing you're gonna need is a vehicle list. So all of your vehicles that you have that you're running under your authority, you need a list of those vehicles. All right, you're gonna have to put those. I just basically got a Word document, listed this information down, and typed in the information that they needed me to send over. So whether you have tractors, whether you have trailers, you have to submit that information. If you just got a box truck, you don't have to submit any trailers or anything like that. You're just gonna submit the unit number, the VIN number, and the license plate number. Pretty simple. And if you have your ELD, you're gonna have to submit that ELD information. So if you look on the back of your ELD, there will be a model number of the ELD. Of course, if you're using Keep Trucking, you're gonna put Keep Trucking down there. I put the model number of my ELD and the name, which is my Keep Trucking ELD. So you're gonna need that information submitted as well. So like I said, I got a document and I typed in the information on that one document. A lot of this I sent in on that document. So next thing you're gonna need is your proof of insurance. And if your carrier operation is for hire, you will have to submit your MCS-90 form. You can Google that form, download it, and that's the form that you're gonna have to also send in to the safety auditors. All right, next thing you're also gonna need to submit is your driver's medical certificate. You will need that driver's medical certificate. So that DOT physical that you went to perform so that you can drive the truck, that's what you're going to need to submit them. So if you have that, typically I know here in South Carolina that DOT medical exam is every 2 years. If you have it, it's going to be good by the time you get your audit. You'll just make a copy of that, and that's another form that you're going to need to submit to them. All right, also each driver that you have, you're gonna have to submit their motor vehicle record. I typically I just get the 10-year motor vehicle record, and I submitted that. So I went to DMV, got my MVR, my motor vehicle record from the DMV, and submitted that along with the rest of these documents that they asked for. No problem, easy peasy. I think I paid $6 for my MVR, my 10-year MVR record, and that was it. So if you have a list of drivers, you're gonna need all of their driving records. And if you hired a driver, that should have been one of the first things that you obtained from them anyway. You definitely need to know their driving record history before you put them in your vehicle. You feel what I'm saying? Like if you want to run a good business, because if their driving record is bad, they shouldn't even be hired. They shouldn't even be working for your company. All right, so let's talk about the next thing you need. All right, so this is a big one. You're gonna need your driver's record of duty. This is where a lot of folks may drop the ball at. All right, so if you have several different drivers, you know you have to sign each one of these drivers separately onto your ELD. So every driver has their own sign-in with their phones that connects to your electronic logging device in your vehicle. So you're gonna need at least 30 days record of them driving your vehicle. You're gonna have to submit that to the safety audit people. Okay, you're gonna need the electronic log. You're gonna need those. So if your logs are not right, your logs looking crazy, if your logs are not in compliance, this is gonna be something that may possibly hurt your safety score. You know, it could cause you not to pass the safety audit. So you want to make sure you're keeping your good records. Make sure your drivers are clocking on duty time, going off duty, doing their 30-minute breaks. You know, if they're driving for over the 8 hours that's required to take a 30-minute break. So make sure you guys are taking good records, or your drivers are taking really good records out here, because this can put you out of business. And you don't want that, because you invested too much money to get your business up and running. I know, at least I know I did. All right, so that's what you want to. That's something that you really want to keep good records of. That electronic logging device. Make sure those logs look good. All right, and I'm gonna come back to that and kind of tell you what happened with my safety audit. All right, in that department. So next thing you need is vehicle inspections. You know that yearly annual inspection that you get for your truck? You're gonna need that form. So if you had that vehicle inspection done, make sure you have that document handy, because you're going to have to submit that in with the rest of these documents that they're asking for. So good thing I had mine done when I purchased my truck. They had already done my annual safety inspection. And when I went through my documents, it was sitting right there waiting for me. I just scanned it in and uploaded that document with the rest of these documents. Annual inspection record, you're gonna need that. And that's for each vehicle that you have. So every vehicle that you're running under your fleet, you're gonna need that one safety inspection for that particular truck. So if you have a vehicle that is requires a CDL, now this is different. For us non-CDL drivers, we didn't have to have this. But if you do have a CDL box truck, you're gonna have to have your drug and alcohol testing records. Now, this is one of those emails that you get when you first get your authority. You know, the Drug and Alcohol Consortium typically will try to call you up and tell you, hey, you need to get this done. They try to sell you that service, but for us non-CDL drivers, we don't need that. As long as we have our medical card or our DOT medical physical done, we don't need to do the Drug Consortium situation. But if you do have a CDL box truck, you're gonna have to go through the Drug and Alcohol testing records. They're gonna need that information. Us non-CDL guys, we don't have to worry about that. And also, if you have drivers, all of your drivers, you're gonna have to list all your drivers that have been enrolled in that program, that the drug and alcohol program. And they also have you send a list of your positive tested drivers from that program. So that's just like a lot of extra red tape, where like at this point, I don't want to have to deal with that. All right. So if you have drivers that have been in an accident within the past 3 years, you're also going to have to submit that document. You're going to have to submit accident records. Thankfully, I don't have those issues. Thankfully, I didn't have any accidents, so I didn't have to submit any of those documents. So that was another headache I didn't have to worry about as far as submitting crash records. And guess what? That pretty much wraps up everything that you will have to pass your safety audit. So if you have all of these documents handy, as you're going along and you're building your business, make sure keep records of everything that you purchased for that truck, especially your annual inspections, all maintenance, maintenance type records. You're supposed to keep these things on hand anyway when you're spending money on your truck. So, make sure you keep good records. I say that again. Make sure you keep good records. That way, when your audit does come around, you have everything that you need to pass your safety audit successfully. Like I said in the beginning, I did pass my safety audit. The only question that rose up was, I think, January 17th. I dropped the load off. At Amazon. After I dropped the load off, I went in personal conveyance to go home. In personal conveyance, you can use personal conveyance mode if you're like at a facility, you decide to go on lunch and you got to drive 17, maybe 20 miles to get some lunch. That's fine. But as far as leaving the facility and heading back home and using personal conveyance, you're not supposed to do that. So you have to actually still be on duty. And I think I went in personal conveyance mode, and I probably still have plenty of time left on my clock. I just put it in personal conveyance mode, and I went home about 50 miles, and they just asked me that. But, you know, he kind of explained that to me, and I was like, cool, no problem. He said, but other than that, you passed successfully. When you guys pass the safety audit, they do put that on the Safer website. And so now when brokers look at your company, they see that you have passed a safety audit. Some brokers will not even let you run their freight if you have not passed the safety audit. These are some of the brokers that are a little more strict. A lot of other shippers, they look at that record to make sure that you out there being in compliance and can run their freight smoothly. Guys, I hope this video helped you out. If it does, make sure you smash the thumbs up button. Course is on sale. The course is on sale. It's Black History Month. Why not? So I got the Black History Month sale going on. If you haven't purchased the course, or if you're looking to get a little more insight on this business, if you're brand new and trying to figure out which direction you should be going in, tap into the course, sixfigureboxtruckbiz.com. If you haven't purchased tickets, make sure you get your ticket for the seminar April 16th. You already know it's going down in ATL. We're gonna have a good time out there. Not only that, if you have done consultations with me, if you're in my course, you guys get a nice discount. I have a discount code that I can give you guys because you've done business with me already. You get a sweet discount on the seminar. So tap in with me. You already know what it is. It's the homie Bigg Vic TV. Always hustle, never stop growing. Till the next video.
To let you go, but maybe it's too late to figure it out, to make it through. Maybe it can't wait, maybe it's time, maybe we're doomed. I try to pull you closer, 'cause I don't